Guys, before the video starts, I just want to give a massive shout out to today's video sponsors, Match Bingo. Link will be in the description. I'll leave a video now just explaining the game and how you can win and stuff like that. One thing I will mention is you need to be 18 or over. Brilliant app. I've been using it now for a few days and I really like it. So here's the video. Come on, you baggies.
Let's go.
Hello and welcome back to West Brom Fan TV. We haven't got loads of content to make at the moment as the season's over for West Brom. Poor. But there is one thing that I can do which might bring some interest to you Albion fans and also fans of other clubs. I'm going to predict the playoffs. Championship, League One and League Two. I'm going to go through all of the games and see if I actually have any ball knowledge or see if I don't. We will see. Starting off with tonight's game. Bristol taking on Sheffield United. Now, the thing with the Championship is every team going into this playoffs has been on absolute doggers form. Absolutely doggers. Not a single team that has been really convincing in the last few weeks. On the season as a whole, though, the visiting team in this game, Sheffield United, have been fantastic. 90 points. Well, it would have been 92 if we went for the point deduction. And to not get promoted in the automatics is absolutely nuts. Crazy. Quite unlucky, really, that they've had two top teams in Burnley and Leeds that have just blitzed them and gone completely clear, making it not really a competition at the end of it. As I think Leeds and that got promoted, like 3 match weeks before the end of the season, I'm pretty sure. But, yeah, they're travelling to Bristol, who have a feel-good factor, to be fair to them. They can create some atmosphere at Ashton Gate, as West Brom realised when we played there. Got some tidy players, a lot of them experiencing this for the first time in such a high-stakes game. Bristol have been very mid-table throughout their last 10 seasons, I'm pretty sure. Usually finishing mid-table, a bit boring. But, you know, finally they've got a tasty game, something to play for. And they are taking on a Sheffield United side who have a lot of quality, a lot of big game players in there. Got player of the season, Gustavo Hamer, players like Rakasaki, Callum O'Hare. And I think that is why I'm going to go the way I am. I think that, I know the facts about Sheffield United in the playoffs. I don't think they've ever won in recent history a playoff final and got promoted. They always come up short in those types of games. But I just think they've got a bit too much quality. I think that Bristol might cack it a little bit. So, first leg, I'm going Bristol 1, Sheffield United 2. And the second leg, I'm going for Sheffield United 2, Bristol 0. So on aggregate, that will be 3-1 to Sheffield United. Up next is one right on my doorstep, Coventry City, who are taking on Sunderland. First game is on Friday at the Coventry Building Society Arena. Now, Coventry City, since Lampard came in charge, he's just restructured things, bashed a few heads together, and got them playing. They're playing some really good simplistic football. They're not doing anything, you know, crazy like Marcelo Bielsa did at Leeds. Nothing Pep Guardiola tactically. Just simple and effective football. And it's got them in the position they are. And they have won some pretty big crunch games against teams that have been around them in that playoff race. And they've got a good record against the team that are visiting them in Sunderland. Before I touch on Sunderland, I want to talk about the Coventry strengths for me and why I think they're doing so well. And I think it's that midfield. Sheaf, what a player. Height, power, what a player. When you look at their attack with Sims and Wright, they're two big, strong attacking players. They won't take any nonsense from anyone. Bosh, get out of the way, I'm coming through. Two cracking players. Sunderland have fell off an absolute cliff. I mean, I said that none of these teams have been on good form, but they've been terrible. I'm pretty sure they've lost their last 5. I don't know what's going on. It seemed once they knew they'd secured playoffs and they're nowhere near the title, that a lot of the big-time players were being rested. They've came back into the fold the last 3 match weeks because Lebree's realised, crap, we've got playoffs coming up, probably need to win some games. And, yeah, they've been doggo, absolutely dreadful. I think they lost to Oxford and also QPR on the phone now. Now, that QPR game would have been a perfect opportunity to build some momentum with some massive playoff games. I mean, Sunderland are a massive club. Don't get me wrong. And their expectations are so high. I just don't know what's gone on with Libri. I don't know what he's been doing. It's maybe lack of understanding of the English game and what these playoffs are like. They're grueling. They're horrible games. You need to be up for it. It's whoever wants it that wins these matches. I think that's going to tell big time. You look at Sunderland's midfield as well. It's very young. You got Dan Neil, who's quite short. You got Joe Bellingham, who's pretty young. And I'm just going to say it now. I don't think he's as good as the media makes out. I think there's a lot of better Championship midfielders. Trust me, he's quality for his age. But the way that they hype on about him, I think Sheaf is miles ahead of him. And I know I might get some slack for that if Cov plays shocking. But I think that's going to tell him our prediction right now. I'm going to go. Coventry City are going to win 3-0 in the first leg. I think whenever Sunderland visit that ground, they cack it. It's daunting, to be fair, for any team. As much stick as I give Cov fans because of, being the local rivals for me, because it's just down the road, they have got some absolutely fantastic fans that push them over the line and create quite an intimidating atmosphere at that ground. I think that it's going to be too much. I think they're just going to get crushed in the home leg. I'm going 3-0 Coventry. And in the away leg, I think that it might wake Sunderland up a bit, but it might be a case of too little, too late. I think they're definitely going to win the second leg. I think they're going to win it 2-0 against Cov. So overall, that leaves Cov are going to win 3-2 on aggregate, which is, leads up quite a big final. Two teams that have struggled in the playoffs in the Championship in recent years. Coventry obviously losing to Luton last time they were in there on penalties, which is gutting, and a Sheffield United side that have been in the playoffs a numerous amount of times and have just got swept away every time. This is a tough one to call, for sure. But I just think Sheffield United have too much quality, and you've got some former Cov players who are going into this game who might haunt their old club. You can just see it happening. Hamer scoring, not celebrating, and Sheffield United cruising just because of the pure quality they've got. Hard one to call. Coventry 1, Sheffield United 3. Yeah. Anyways, up next, League One. In my opinion, the most exciting playoffs out of the lot, because 3 out of these 4 sides have been absolute training through the last few games. They've been sensational, to be fair. Starting up with Leyton Orient, they've been cracking in the last few weeks. They just seem to get the job done every time. Very leaky at the back, but they've got this lad called Kelman. I think he's on loan from Queen's Park Rangers, and he just absolutely smashes in the goals. They're very much a feel-good side, if you get what I mean. Quite a small club compared to the rest. No disrespect to Leyton Orient, I'm sure they'll agree with me of that. And saying that, what am I on about? Wickham are in there. Yes, it's a massive chance for them, because obviously they went through a lot of trouble a few years ago where they went down to the National League, and it was a bit of a cursed thing that they'd look back on, was missing out on that League One playoff final, I'm pretty sure, back in the day. But yeah, it's a massive semi-final. Stockport I want to touch on. They've been fantastic. Whenever they seem like they're going to lose, they just pull it back and win. Great team, better at home than they are away, though, saying that. And they're not awful away. Got some top players. They've got a proper veteran in their midfield in Ollie Norwood. He's a cracking player. He's been there, he's done it at the top level and in the Championship regularly. It's what you need. So that is the spine of that team. Yeah, this could be a very exciting one. But I think the Stockport do have too much quality. They just seem like they can't be stopped. Yeah. Leyton Orient 2, Stockport County 1 in the first leg. Second leg, I'm going for 3-0 Stockport County win, which leaves a 4-2 win on aggregate for Stockport County. Up next is the Chairboys Wickham Wanderers, who take on Charlton. Wickham being probably the worst form side out of the lot of them in the League One playoffs. They've been quite rocky lately, to be fair. Kone up top, who's been banging them in for fun all season. Khaled Taylor from West Brom, who's been an absolute warhorse for them. Charlton as well, I want to touch on them. They've been really good lately, to be fair. They're on some high-flying form, cruising into the playoffs, really. With a solid manager in Nathan Jones, bit of a veteran of the League One, League Two Championship. I'm going to say 1-1 first leg. Second leg, Charlton win 2-0 against Wickham. So that will mean that Charlton win 3-1 on aggregate, setting up a Charlton versus Stockport final, which is an absolute cracker from the sounds of it. Two teams that have been the informed sides in the League One playoff race, really. They've been a real clash of the titans. A very hard one to call, to be fair, because I think they both are as good as each other. I think one has more pedigree than the other, and that team's Charlton. Sorry, Stockport. Charlton 2, Stockport County 1 in the final, which means Charlton Athletic will be in the Championship next season. Up next is League 2, starting off with Notts County taking on Wimbledon. Now, I've heard from sources that Notts County have quite a few injuries at the moment, which is not great going into it. They've been a bit rocky in the latter part of the season, started pretty well. Up there in League 2, it seemed like no one wanted to get promoted at some point. Second on a Wimbledon side that managed to solidify their place on the final day against Grimsby, beating them. If they didn't win that, then I think they'd have fell out of it. Yeah, this will be a good watch. Obviously, my knowledge isn't as good on League 2 as it is the other leagues, but I have watched both these teams this season, and I think that Wimbledon have that little bit better momentum. And with Notts' injuries, I think that might cripple them a bit. I'm going for a Notts County 1, Wimbledon 0 first leg win. Then the second leg will be 2-1 Wimbledon, with them winning on penalty. So yeah. Up next is Chesterfield against Walsall. Chesterfield came in there out of nowhere, to be fair. I didn't know they were anywhere near a playoff fight. But they're sitting quite nicely, that seventh playoff place now. Taking on the Walsall side that have been bottle jobs really since they've lost Nathan Lowe. Can't really believe how much they fell off. They had a crazy gap between the playoffs and the automatics early on in the season. They were well secure in that playoff race. Not playoff race, sorry, promotion race. What am I on about? Chesterfield, what I've noticed, have a lot of experience in their ranks. They've got McFadden, used to play for Coventry City, and they've got Will Grigg, and they've got John Fleck. 3 veterans of English League football, really, and I think that's helping them out massively. These are players that are used to these big games. They've been around for a while, and they can offer guidance and steer the other lads in the dressing room in the right direction into these games. Walsall have just been shocking as of late. I think they did win on the final day, nearly did sneak in, but they haven't been the best in recent weeks. I'd say arguably have bottled the automatics. I'm going to say that that's going to affect them. They've got a decent player, Alan. I'm pretty sure Walsall is a centre-back. He used to play for Nuneaton. Yeah, I've decided what I'm going for. I'm going for Chesterfield 0. Walsall 1 in the first leg, and then Walsall will do what they have done so many times this season and bottle it in the second leg. They'll lose 2-0 to Chesterfield. Now this sets up a final between Chesterfield and Wimbledon. Very unlikely final, I'd have thought, at the start of the season, with Chesterfield pretty sure it only came up quite recently. But I think it's going to be about the Football League pedigree with this one in recent years. Chesterfield have had a spell in the National League, and I think that this is such a hard game to call because they've both got a lot of things going for them. I think they'll both cancel each other out in full time. I'm going to go for a 0-0 because I haven't had any real boring predictions so far. We might as well throw one in there now just to round off the video. And I'm going to say that Wimbledon win on penalties to take themselves back up to League 1. So yeah, they are my predictions. So that leaves Sheffield United back in the Prem. I know, bit boring. They've been yo-yoing up and down for donkeys. That leaves Charlton in the Championship, which I'll be more than happy with that. I love Charlton away. Fantastic away day. And that also leaves Wimbledon in League 1. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. We might have some neutral vlogs at some point. Not too sure yet for some of these games. Could even do a live for one of them, maybe. We'll see what you guys think. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah.